What we wanted to deliver, and the Russo brothers have done a tremendous job in delivering this, is a movie unlike any other Marvel movie. It is tonally very, very different. It's got the humor, it's got the action, but at the same time, we see characters exploring their situations in a much deeper and richer way than we've done in the other. Action of actual above.
Full force, because we knew we were bringing a fresh version of Cap to people in this movie because of the fact he's evolved since audiences have seen him last. And we just wanted to throw people into it as hard and fast and as exciting as we could. So we went through months of just... And then from that, we sort of took... married them into the locations as we began to find them, like the Lemurian Star.
Cap's mission when he takes over that ship is to covertly and as quickly as possible take out all the guards on the deck. How's he going to do that? He's going to move at super speed, he's going to move with super strength, and he's going to, you know, what we call knockout shots, right? Every guy, when he leaves that guy's everything's over. So you'll notice that, you know, every guy he approaches is either thrown overboard or completely knocked out before he moves on to the next guy. What we're telling the audience is in the 2 years since the Avengers, he's done all this training. So when you drop him on that boat, we're catching you up to speed on situations.
With that type of combat, to make it cool, I think you have the liberty to kind of get a little more of a gritty feel. Interesting approach to a superhero movie.
Action and into specificity, because Cap's abilities are all about the superhuman abilities. So unless you can
which is a very rare satellite launch vessel. And what we have here is a great sequence for Chris Evans, who's been doing a ton of fight training to really... George St. Pierre, he's the UFC welterweight champion and has brought his own fighting style to the character of George Batroc.
It's an honor getting beat up by Captain America. It's a lot of fun.
And in the choreography, we tried to put together a fight that strengths, because his martial arts background and his MMA notoriety, we wanted to put some moves in there that people would recognize, and make him a sufficient foe for Cap.
And it requires a lot of stunt work. As much as possible when we got to these action sequences.
For me, just having done Marvel, and also with this, I feel way more comfortable fighting. I feel way more comfortable hanging 60 feet in the air.
Scarlett and I have worked together quite a bit now. Her double is Heidi Moneymaker, who I hired and put them together. And she's doubled her ever since. She is truly one of the best stunt women in the world.
Thank you to Heidi Moneymaker, who the two of us have now fused into one person. I think we try to push the envelope with each film, and there's already these kind of established moves that people recognize and are really into, so we get to play with that a little bit.
We sort of have a style, or we have her style, and so every time I come onto a new movie, I go with the flow, and then I start trying to put in really widowy, kind of flippy, twisty, lucha libre type fun moves so that she still has that flair to it.
A lot of the stunts in this film involved a lot of wire work, a lot of like pelling down things.
We had her up about 3 stories inside of a ship with steel all around, and we dropped her down. It was about a 30 or 40-foot drop, and she's shooting guns and very repeatable. It was safe, but she trusted us, and she did a great job.
The Russo brothers infused this storyline with a film history that they bring to the set that I think is very unique. They're holding this film up to some pretty high standards.
We used a strong visual element for this movie that we kept holding out in front of people, the bank robbery in Heat. Experientially, this is still the most intense 8 minutes of filmmaking I've seen in 20 years in a movie theater. How do we beat it?
There's a car chase written into the script. We love car chases, but it's like, how do we bring something fresh to the table in a car chase?
You read a script, you look at it, think, oh God, it's great, we get to do this gag, we get to do this gag. It's so much fun to be able to create these accidents and these effects and these explosions.
We're gonna pull this car in here at about 50 miles an hour, so it'll look like a very violent wreck. The way we're shooting it inside with Sam, you can really see, you know, that it is a violent wreck.
Give me the wheel!
I get to do a whole bunch of driving. I get shot at a lot. I love coming back into this world and putting my scar on and being Nick Fury.
Get me off the grid!
The story dictates the action. What's great about this movie is that it was constantly dictating some pretty awesome things.
The second act climax, the end of Act 2, is this huge blowout on the shoreway. We tend to write some of the big stuff in a white box. You know, we assume some way we'll be able to do something, and whether it's a CG, we're going to build something. In this case, I did not realize. Say yes, sure, shut.
Marvel had worked with Cleveland before on Avengers, so when we asked to come back, access to some of their biggest locations, accommodating us. And we feel incredibly lucky because get from being on a location like this is something that
I've certainly not seen in any Marvel movie. It was really, really intricate and very different.
I think we developed a really efficient system between our stunt team, our camera department, in a way that we could execute these. There was a lot of stunt biz that was done, so the stunt team, and then they would bring that to set. We'd all note it. Everybody would give their 2 cents. They'd do is
Actually coming. Our heroes are running this way and this way.
So this is the car that is
the windshield.
It's all kind of a choreography, so it's sort of like somebody, and there's so many.
You know, I want to do, man. The guy is amazing.
Sort of flipping this plastic knife. I mean, I was like driving in intersections and just flipping it in the car.
5, 6, 7.
That was money! You love it!
I think first and foremost, the credit Sam.
To make it as exciting.
Character, and it's such a powerful moral center and conviction to him. It's like the way you test a character like that is just by as you can. We want to see that physically in this movie.
and he's beat up and he's bloody.
Meat and potatoes, and to make it cool, I think you have the liberty to kind of get a rougher feel.
That are a little incongruous, and you're not quite handheld verite. Let's figure